My name is Rick Zender, and I'm the curator here at the John Rivers Communications Museum at the College of Charleston.
Man before. No, of course you haven't, for you're much too good, I'm sure. Don't you be afraid of him if he should visit you. He's a great big coward, so I'll tell you what to do.
Basically, you have radio waves, and there are two types of frequencies. There's AM, which is modulating the amplitude, called amplitude modulation, literally, and FM radio, which is FM modulation. And in the early days, most of the radios in this room just received AM broadcasts, but they were difficult to receive when you go under a bridge or in bad weather, and FM helped clear a lot of that up. AM, however, does bounce off the atmosphere, so at night you get a lot of, when the atmosphere changes, the waves actually bounce off the ionosphere, and you can get stations sometimes from hundreds of miles away. That was Edwin Armstrong. He was a really brilliant inventor. Came up with a lot of circuits like superheterodyne and different things on radio. And he had sold some of his early patents to RCA, but then had a big war with them later on. By the time he got FM radio going, they decided not to carry it. In fact, this FM radio right next to me is what we call obsolete FM, because it was an FM radio, but the FCC changed the frequencies. And so one day you would wake up and all of a sudden this whole, like now the FM band is about 88 to like, I don't know, 107, somewhere in there. This was 21 up to 99. So those radios weren't any good anymore. And back then radio was very important, and you also paid a lot for a radio because they had nice wooden cabinets, and so that was very frustrating. Not everything is super expensive, but the larger the radio, the more features, just like today, and the fact that they're wood and a large cabinet, and sometimes, you know, you would even have really nice accessories like a separate speaker, and of course that's going to run up the price.
There's lots of marvelous things to eat and wonderful.
It's sort of interesting because, you know, it seems like it's in decline, but people have been saying that about radio for 60 years. I mean, when FM radio came out, you would think, well, AM radio disappeared. Well, I mean, AM radio's still there. It's less expensive, so you've got there's a gospel station and a Spanish station, and there's talk radio because you don't need the fidelity. FM radio provides stereo sound, so it's a better sound medium, and so the music stations mostly went over to FM, but AM hung on too. And then when television came in, everyone said, well, when all the network programs shift from primetime radio shows to television, radio will disappear again. And once again, it didn't happen. In the 50s, you had rock and roll music that was new. You had smaller plastic radios that were portable, less expensive, and made with transistors. And when the reason for going from analog to digital was basically because digital uses up less bandwidth, and so you would have more left over to sell to other companies for other needs. And that's what they did. I think the FCC made, I think it was $17 billion off the sale of excess bandwidths because now cell phones want it. So we'll see what happens in the future.
$7 was